This placid scene is in the heart of an area where nearly 250,000 people have just been swept into the sea and drowned. Through the many islands on the edge of the Bay of Bengal in East Pakistan, there raged on November the 12th what was simply the worst of the many cyclones the 2 million people who live here have ever experienced. In its wake, a vast tidal wave. To the heart of this area, after the waters had receded, went a this week team. Life goes with the waters, leaving behind death in many grotesque shapes and forms. But life is also stronger than the waters, and those who have survived emerge again, not joyfully, but with the pain and anguish of a new birth. Life goes with the waters, and on the waters, miraculously sometimes, life returns. These 3 people, a husband and wife, and another girl from the same village, were adrift for 5 days after the tidal wave, and are now being brought home to their own island.
This man and his wife and this girl, on the 12th of November night, they swept away by the tidal bore from the offshore island into the sea.
They spent 4 days on a raft lashed to the backs of water buffalo. When the buffaloes eventually died, they found a small boat and managed to stay alive until a passing Russian ship picked them up.
They have got multiple injuries during this for the survival. They have got the injuries all over the bodies.
They have wounds to show, a few cuts and abrasions, but nothing serious. The surface wounds of clinging too tenaciously to life.
Yeah, she has got very good. Yeah, that is the skin peeled off. Skin peeled off from the belly.
They watch as down to the water's edge to meet them come surviving relatives from their village who had long given up hope of seeing them again. Heading the welcome is the boy's father, who has lost several other members of his family.
আপনি সরে যান না
আরে একখানে ওগুলো তো বসে নিতে হবে সব একখানে নিলে নকে তো দেখাই না দেই দেই আমরা একটু এই করেন আপনারা সরেন দেন না
The 3 new survivors are borne off to the village in sad and muted triumph.
চলে যান চলে যান
7,000 people once lived in this village. 4,000 of them are now dead. There is no one here who's not lost somebody. It's as if these 3 survivors had returned from the dead. But the villagers see in them too almost unbearable reminders of those they have lost.
Hey.
For the boy's mother, joy at the miracle of his return is tempered with mourning for the sons who are dead. Even his father says his sky is without stars.
I have got a sky without a star.
No matter, it does not matter, but you have got something out of that. But many people have lost their children, brothers and relatives. But you have got something at least, by which you should made some some shukrana to Almighty Allah, at least. Yeah. At least you have got something to be happy, and you should not, at least you should not blame God for this loss of your family. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. As a Muslim, we are to believe on Allah's blessings, whatever might be. We should thank God. What He does, we must endure it. Otherwise, we are not really true Muslims.
A prayer meeting is held, half in thanksgiving for their own wonderful deliverance, half in sorrow for the terrible catastrophe that has struck them. In the village, the tenuousness of the existence which the wind blew away and for which they again give thanks is laid quite bare.
ربنا اغفر لنا يا خير الغافرين ربنا يا مولانا يا ملجانا يا مفرنا أنت القوي يا قوي اللهم اغفر لنا يا مولانا اللهم يا الله نشكرك إياك يا الله اللهم يا الله.
The fabric of their lives lies strewn across the ground, pathetic jetsam from a hard-won world. With the return to life, the miracle ends. Life will be no less fragile. Human nature won't have changed. The survivors have not become angels by surviving. A mile or two upstream, a marketplace has somehow started up again. Some people somehow have got food to sell. But just as before the flood, they'll only sell at the right price.
He purchased the things from Kalachipa by borrowing money from others, and he bought the things and took into this market. Among taka paisa ase shobai kache na, they can't sell the articles as much as they desire because the people have got no money in their hands. Everything washed away due to tornado. আপনার কি এখন খাওয়া দাওয়া করেন না এরকম লোক আছেন কিনা? Majority of the people are hungry now. Almost all are hungry now.
To stress their need, a bizarre roll call of death takes place.
His family, our car, in our chole gache 24 members of his family. He lost 6 members of his family. He lost 53 of his members and he lost 6 of his members. Our car 8 of his family and 5 of his family. He lost 9 members of his family. 33 members of his family. Hatutan, 33 members of his family. Our car gase 5 members of his family. Our car gase. He lost 4 of his family. Our car gase. He lost 4 members of his family. He lost 6 members of his family. He lost 6 members of his family. Apnar 2 members of his family. He lost 4 members of his family.
Unimaginable statistics of suffering become individual stories of pain.
When the tidal wave came and the water level gradually rising up and up, he was in his quarter, but afterwards he could not remain and went to the other quarter, which was a double-storied quarter. So from there, when that quarter also collapsed, and he jumped out into the water with his one son. But afterwards, he also lost his son and his daughter and his wife even. But just in the morning, when the water recedes, he saw that his house was demolished and he was fainted due to too much pain because he was on the tree at the time of tidal wave. So he went out to search his daughters and sons and his wife. He found that his son and daughter, they were dead, and he did not find out his wife, but he searched for his wife. And up till now, till today, he did not get his wife. When he lost every one of his family, he cannot speak out what he felt actually from the core of his heart.
Into this world, there now drop people from another world. All they have in common is that they too are human beings. But for all human beings, life is mainly perplexing. British troops rushed to the first staging point, haven't found things at all as they expected.
Administrative backing to live up in that area for about 10 days. And when we get there, we will find a distributing point, which is manned by the Pakistani army, and there, from that point, we will distribute the food and other relief supplies around to the villages and the local people.
Get some of that disinfectant on them.
They've already been here 2 days. They must wait for a Pakistani officer to arrive before they can take any action. And even the exact nature of the action required is somehow obscure. They've got the boats, they've got the relief supplies, but they still can't move.
We've been out here 2 days now, the engineers, and we've done nothing at all, in fact. We're hoping to start engineer tasks tomorrow, but the fact is that all these people around here, they're watching us doing nothing, in fact. they're watching us eat our meals when in fact they could be out doing their own work themselves.
It took us 5 days to get down here, literally carrying the craft most of the way. And since we got here, we've done nothing but sit on the backside. We haven't done a stroke. Done nothing at all. Everybody's willing to work, and if they had some work to do, I think everybody would be a lot happier. Everybody's just sick of sitting around doing nothing.
The only thing that looks bad to me, in fact, is the women and children all along the beach, not buried. We went down there yesterday and there was 2 babies, and the locals refused to bury them unless they were paid. And yet, as I say, we've got all these people around here doing nothing. They won't even bury their own dead.
This thing's supposed to be the biggest thing since the Yellow River, and look at it. There's vegetation, there's life. We've come up here, we've been here 2 days. All we've done is rig up boats with engines, dig latrines, sit, sunbathe, and eat, and have them watch us. And it's getting tedious.
Oh, I reckon we've been conned. Well, the government has. We came over here, plenty of work on ship. We've spent nights working, getting up rice from the holes, and since we came here, we've done nothing except sunbathe. What we do in the next few days is another thing.
The very next day, however, the relief supplies of rice the British have brought can at last get on the move. The supervising Pakistani officer they've been waiting for has arrived. They move the rice onto the boats to carry it 8 miles upstream.
Where did this come going to now? Is it already fully flown?
Yes. Ready to go.
The village headman sets off with them. But even now, life is still perplexing. The boat comes into shore and signals its arrival. At first, no one seems to be coming at all.
If they're supposed to be starving, as they say they are, I should imagine by now people have been swarming around the boats. Oh, I'd come here. I wasn't so looking forward to the job. It's not a job I like to look forward to, not this sort of thing. But if you look on it away, you come here to help somebody, and I estimate we were coming here to help people, and I also expected people to be helping themselves, but they're not doing this. There is parts that are pretty badly devastated. You see bodies on the bank of children still lying there. These people are just not bothering to bury them. They leave them there, let them to rot. They walk past holding their mouths. I don't think they're as badly off as people. It's been estimated, or what we heard.
In ones and twos, at first almost suspiciously, the survivors here come forward to see what fate has brought them this time. As the news spreads that supplies of rice have arrived, suspicion gives place to eager activity as the sacks are unloaded and stacked on shore. Whether the people here are starving or not, anything brought to this place is thankfully received. Nothing here is as simple as the Western mind would like it to be.
What is wrong with the rice exactly? The rice in the paddy now.
Ration?
Yeah, what is wrong with this rice in the paddy? What is wrong? Is it bad?
No, sir.
It's not bad?
No bad.
It's all right?
All right.
You will harvest this later, will you?
Yes, sir.
I see. And it seems, you know, we pulled some off and it looks okay inside. Just wants polished and clean. And how many people on this island?
Chor Mamtaz is 700.
700?
700. A chor on the opposite side of the river, that is 500.
How many people did you lose on the island, in all?
Pardon?
How many people did you lose on the island?
By the last cyclone?
Yeah.
By the last cyclone, 400 died from this Chor Mamtaz.
From this place here?
Yeah, from this, and 300 from this side.
From the other side?
Yes.
A lot of people.
Efficient bureaucracy has come to life with the rest. Thumbprints must be taken as receipts, for almost no one here can read or write. They receive their relief supplies in a quiet and orderly manner. And for those trained for efficiency and orderliness, that is really the end of the matter.
Well, I don't find the situation as bad as I expected. I don't see the starvation here that we were led to believe would be here. I don't see the shortage of water, and I don't see the disease. We came here with great urgency to do the best we could to relieve the plight of these people, and I would sum it up by saying that I don't think they are really in a bad way as I see them today.
The Pakistani officials can at least understand what the people are saying here. They find it easier to understand some of the realities. But even with their sympathetic approach, they are quite alien to these lives.
Things are improving, and we are very happy that the British troops are doing a wonderful job. We would like them to do more if it is possible. I think Mr. Commissioner would definitely be able to.
Well, I agree with what Mr. Haq has said. It's not very correct to say that things are better than what it was given out to be. I also don't agree with that view, because we had a recce from the air, low flight. Then we went to different areas ourselves. But I did come to this area twice with an amphibian and found large number of dead bodies, people's houses blown away. And, you know, people complained, they swarmed me at Golachipa and Kepupara, saying that they had nothing to eat because all their grains were washed away by the tidal wave.
It takes a cyclone to blow the governor of East Pakistan here. He too is compassionate, but he too comes from another world.
I think it's clear, it should be made clear that there is a lot of difference between a disaster occurring as a result of, for instance, a volcano and a cyclone with a tidal surge. When the tidal surge occurs, a lot of people perish. Either they get washed away or they get drowned. And those who survive, well, they are not so badly off, medically speaking. They get abrasions, they get probably colds and so on and so forth. So basically, the people who have survived are, generally speaking, in as good a health as they normally are. For instance, at this time, I have been trying to find out from the various people in the field, and not a single report of a death case due to starvation has been reported to me.
Slowly, life gets underway again, until the next great wind and the next flood.